The monument's gorgeous.
We do have really a wonderful variety of trees in the park, and of course we're particularly talking about cherry trees today, and particularly about the Yoshinos, but we have lots of wonderful trees. I told you about that old elm. Here we have another elm tree here, and it's really hard to tell which trees are which until they get their leaves. It really is very, very challenging for most of them. But I want you to know we do have a wonderful variety, and we have lots of other trees in the park. Certainly we have all those rows of elm trees that go all the way from the Capitol all the way down to the Lincoln Memorial. We have these cherry trees here, but we also have, if you get over to Constitution Gardens, which is everything on the north side of the reflecting pool from World War II Memorial down to Lincoln Memorial, a lot of beautiful trees over there, a wonderful lake, and even fish in the lake, incidentally. So we have a lot of different things to see. Now, I had a couple of questions on the way. One was, what happens if one of the trees dies? Well, we do remove it as soon as we can, and we do like to replace it with the same kind of tree in the same place whenever we can, so that we can maintain the same landscape plan. Now, of course, when we do that, we better make sure that there isn't something wrong with that particular location where that tree is that killed the other tree and that sort of thing. But generally, we keep the same. Although over the years, sometimes we've changed the variety of trees because we found we were having problems. For instance, that area I told you about called Constitution Gardens, I actually did my master's research paper on that area over there. And what I found is that as they originally planted the trees over there, the soil is so bad, the drainage is so bad that they had many, many trees dying over there. And at first they just replaced in kind, and then they realized, well, there's something wrong. This kind of tree isn't surviving there. So there have been occasions where selectively and carefully over the years we have changed some varieties. The large number of trees we have over in Constitution Gardens now are red maples, and they do very well over there, but we also do have quite a variety of others. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, the average age of the cherry trees is maybe 45 to 50 years, and our tree people are really excellent. Most of them have learned their work on the job, although we do have some professional arborists and people with scientific degrees as well. They work very carefully. They prune the trees twice a year, more if necessary. With new trees, sometimes they'll fertilize and water them the first year or two to take care of them. So a lot of special attention goes in. And we do have a few trees that are probably 100 years old. However, the oldest tree that we know, oldest cherry tree, is not here, but actually in Japan is about 1,400 years old. And that's really incredible. Now, a wonderful gift was given to us. 50 trees were given to us that are actually cuttings from that 1,400-year-old tree. And we have some of those trees here in the park. None near here for me to show you. We do have some along Ohio Drive facing the Potomac River. And we do have a map that shows where a number of our trees are. I'll try to share that with everyone later, as many maps as I have at least. So some of the trees could become very old. Generally, our trees, we have done some clipping, some cuttings, as someone asked, from the original trees that were brought here in 1912. We have done some of that, but there is some concern if when we do a cutting like that, those are clones, so it's an identical tree, and we're really, really concerned if every tree is identical that we could, have some quirk of nature and lose all of our trees. So we don't do a lot of that, but all of these cherry trees are pretty much clones of some other trees, and they're all related. For historical purposes, we do have some specifically that were cloned from the original trees. And incidentally, as part of the kind of a reverse gift, we have sent cuttings back to Japan as well. After World War II, there was a lot of wartime damage over in Japan near Tokyo, where the trees came from. And so we've sent some of these trees back, cuttings from them, so that they could replant. And we've done that a couple of times. Another time we sent them flowering American dogwoods, which was a kind of a nice treat as well. So there has been some of that. Was there someone else who had a question about something? Anything?
Yes.
You have another question for me?
Yeah.
This lady has a question.